Right now in your News at 4, long lines and technical issues are among problems that Midlands voters have dealt with during previous elections. We have the latest on what election officials say will happen this year as early voting starts on Monday.
Plus, Governor McMaster is cracking down on bail bondsmen in our state. This is in an attempt to keep criminals and bondsmen accountable.
We'll break down those details for you coming up.
And the Midlands is warming up just in time for the weekend. Our First Alert weather team will break down the details. Your News at 4 starts right now.
Live from Columbia, this is WIS News 10 at 4. Live, local, now.
Happy Friday to you, and thank you so much for joining us for your News at 4. I'm Billie Jean Shaw.
And I'm Greg Adeline. Thanks for joining us. The Midlands warming up after seeing highs in the 60s earlier this week. Today, it is very comfortable outside. Let's take a look at that temperature trend. You can see those highs climbing into the 80s before too long. And that is good news. The weather looking great for this weekend as well. Highs in the mid-70s. Joining us now, Chief Meteorologist Adam Clark, bearing the good news. What's going on, Adam?
With early voting set to start Monday, Richland County election officials say they are confident that this will be an efficient and secure election, free of some of the issues voters have encountered in recent years.
Its interim elections director Terry Graham took over for Alexandria Stevens, who resigned in August. Graham had said previously that he too would be leaving the elections office after the November election, but now says that he plans to stay on in some capacity as the search for a new director continues.
Our Nick Neville is live on this story for us this afternoon. And Nick, you met with Graham today. What did he tell you about the preps for next week? Nick, thank you. And there are 5 early voting locations in Richland County open from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's from October 24th through the 5th of November. You can find the full list of early voting locations in your area by visiting our website, WIS-TV.com.
The State Department of Insurance will be looking at bail bondsmen a little closer. Governor McMaster says that he wants a crackdown on what he calls shady activities. The initiative is specifically aimed toward bail bondsmen who fail to report when a criminal defendant fails to comply with court-ordered bond conditions. The new directive calls for the SC Department of Insurance to use its authority and administrative jurisdiction to increase oversight of the commercial bail bond industry. In a statement, McMaster said, quote, "From now on, if a bondsman is caught coddling a criminal, they will lose their license to operate in South Carolina," end of quote.
A man is in custody after officials say he and another suspect robbed a bank here in the Midlands back in August. Back on August 19th, Irmo police say a man and a woman approached workers at the First Citizens Bank on Lake Murray Boulevard. The woman allegedly pepper spraying 2 workers and then helped take cash bins from the ATM. Now, Irmo police say 28-year-old Devon Gibbs was taken into custody in Texas on Thursday. He is in connection, of course, with the crime here in Richland County. Gibbs is currently on federal probation for bank robbery out of Texas. Now, once he returns here to South Carolina, officials say he will be charged with bank robbery, kidnapping, and first-degree assault and battery. He will be booked into the Lexington County Detention Center.
We're learning more about a man accused of voyeurism in Kershaw County. Training records show that Richard Ray Bailey Jr. is a former sheriff's deputy with the county. The 54-year-old is charged by the Kershaw County Sheriff's Office in connection with a bathroom voyeurism case at a home in Cassett. Bailey is charged with violating the place of privacy and other charges. Investigators say that Bailey is seen on video walking to a bathroom and sticking his phone under a door to capture a victim in the shower. Bailey was booked into the Kershaw County Detention Center. He was active with the Sheriff's Office between 2009 and November of 2020.
Scary story. 2 construction workers are recovering this afternoon after being pulled from a collapsed trench at a high school in the upstate earlier today. This morning, the 2 construction workers became trapped when the walls of a trench collapsed around them. This happened around 10 a.m. outside the James F. Burns High School in Duncan. Emergency crews had to stabilize the walls of that trench and dig the 2 men out. One man was trapped from the waist down, while the other was trapped from the shoulders down. The rescue took more than 2 hours. One worker was airlifted to a hospital, while the other had to be taken by ambulance. Officials say these men are lucky to be alive.
Making national headlines this afternoon, a subpoena has been issued to former President Donald Trump. The House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol issued a letter to Trump's lawyers. It states that the former president must testify under oath by November 14th. The committee also requested for a series of documents, including personal communications between the former president and members of Congress, as well as extremist groups. It's unclear how Trump and his legal team will respond to that subpoena. He could comply or negotiate with the committee, announce that he'll defy the subpoena or ignore it altogether. He could also go to court and try to stop it.
Steve Bannon, a former member of the Trump administration and a longtime consultant of the former president, has been sentenced to 4 months in prison for defying a subpoena from the House January 6th committee. The U.S. District Judge handed down the sentence, saying the law was clear and that contempt of Congress is subject to a mandatory minimum of at least 1 month behind bars. Prosecutors asked for a 6-month sentence. Now, after this 4-month sentence was announced, Bannon spoke to reporters. He insisted that he cooperated with other investigations. The judge said he will stay Bannon's sentence once his appeal is filed. He did not immediately stay it today, but Bannon's legal team has already confirmed that it will file an appeal.
Russian attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure are continuing, creating rolling blackouts across the country. Meanwhile, the European Union discussing plans to provide Ukraine with 1.5 billion euros per month to help with basic needs, including energy, food, and water. Gloria Pazmino reports.
A group of runners plan to journey from the coast to the capital this weekend to honor our fallen military heroes. The 130-mile course runs from Charleston all the way to Columbia. It's called the Run for the Fallen, and it started this morning. Organizers are expecting it to be completed by Sunday. The group will honor and remember those at each stop, those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, with a mile marker along the path to honor again each fallen military member.
Still ahead, hospitals in the U.S. are struggling to take care of the increase of children being diagnosed with RSV. We have the very latest right after this. Stay with us.